Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
no.
just the way it is. Before we start, I'm going to take a moment because I don't know if you know, but last night it was a pretty impactful event, and I want to take a moment to recognize it. So I'm going to take off my headphones and I'm going to put on my Dodgers hat.
Did they win the first game?
So what? What's up?
They won the first game?
They won the first game last night. So
Oh
a
man.
powerful Dodgers in memory of the recently passed on Fernando Valenzuela, looking down on us and telling us that yes, go Dodgers. Have you seen my Dodgers hat? It
No,
says Lisan Algaib.
I like that.
Yeah. So
So the
yeah,
Dodgers versus the Yankees. How much do you know about baseball?
quite a bit. My family kind of raised me on baseball, and I didn't like take on it until like pretty recently. But
Really?
yeah, I really enjoy baseball games. I like going to them. I like watching them every once in a while. And my team is the Dodgers, so good times.
I
Good
had
times
no
were
idea you
happening.
actually had a sports team, like an actual team. Like the Panthers just suck. I thought like they're just your like football team, but like
The Panthers just suck, but that they're my team, like. And if they ever play the Cowboys and they win, I'm going to rub it in your face. Like it's going to happen. Like,
I mean, we're playing all this year, I think. You guys might actually have a chance because we suck this year too. But
well, you
I know you like
you've kind of you kind of sucked like for a long time. So like just
that's fair. But yeah,
yeah,
I did not know you like baseball. Wow. So have the Dodgers always been your team?
they've been for like a year when I finally decided on one team.
Uh,
But yeah.
what made you decide
Yeah,
on the Dodgers?
I literally draw them out of a hat.
Really?
Yeah, but it makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Also, like the Dodgers have been the most interesting team to watch because they have the most interesting players right now, and I don't know. It's really interesting. It's like I don't know. The best player playing right now is playing in their team, like in the whole league.
Hmm.
Shohei Ohtani. Have you heard of this guy?
Is he the one that everyone was mocking him for paying him all that money, and it turned out he was worth it?
He was worth it. He's in the World Series.
No, but like I remember, like there was a lot of media, not overhype, but like there was a lot of backlash to the Dodgers, like paying him so much and drafting him or whatever. Like they were like, "Really, you're doing this much for this guy? He's unproven. He's this. He's this."
He's
Oh,
not unproven. He's not unproven. He was like the thing about Otani is that he's both a good batter and a good pitcher, which is very rare. You can find a good pitcher, but not always that's always a great batter. He's a great batter and a good pitcher. That's rare. Like you rarely see that. And
so he's a dual threat.
he is. And the thing is that right now he recently got like Tommy John surgery, which is in his arm,
Mhm.
and that hasn't let him pitch the whole season. So
Yeah.
he hasn't been pitching; he's only been hitting, and he still made it to the World Series. So
Okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I said I was a Dodgers fan a couple years ago for one particular reason, though. It has almost nothing. It has nothing to do with baseball. They brought on a guy who they essentially brought on a guy so he could get healthcare insurance, like mental health insurance, so he could like get help because he was homeless. Like he was like a former player. I can't remember who it was. Let me see. LA Dodgers help guy with mental illness. Andrew Tolan. He was homeless and diagnosed with schizophrenia. Um, they re-signed Toles to a $0 contract so he can maintain his mental health services and insurance.
yeah,
So like ever since Andrew Toles, I've been like, all right, go Dodgers. Like I guess I like them now because they did something nice for humanity. Like they're like, hey, we're gonna help this guy out. So yeah,
yeah,
I think so. So no, but go. So to the Dodgers, I apologize, folks. I don't know much about baseball. I don't follow baseball. I think I've
yeah.
been to one game in 30 years of life. Um, are the Dodgers like the team to beat? Like, are they like amazing? And so like, or are they the underdog in this fight?
No, they're amazing.
Amazing. Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah,
pretty much like damn right we're sending.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people who are really, really into baseball did not want the World Series to be Yankees versus Dodgers because they're like, why? Like,
The
give
old
someone
money.
else a chance. But but no, I'm excited. I'm excited. Also, it's causing a lot of chaos in my house because my mom is a Yankees fan. So yeah.
Oh, no, don't do that to her.
Mm, she chose her life. I chose mine. That's
Jesus Christ.
it's the way it is. Anyway, but yeah, game one, Dodgers. We'll see how it goes. Maximum of 7 games, minimum of 4. We'll see how it goes.
Let's see here. Well, let's look at the list of previous champions. Let's see. We got list of World Series champions. The Yankees have 27. I feel like that's not fair. They're old as fuck. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they count them like in the post like civil rights movement world. But okay, we got the Rangers, the Astros, the Braves, the Dodgers, Nationals, the Red Sox, Astros, Cubs, Royals. I feel like there's like been a good variety for the past like 20 years. Like it's been random teams.
Yep.
The Yankees won it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
98, 99, and 2000. Jesus. And they won them all 4-0, 4-0, 4-1. Gee, god damn. Have the Mets ever won?
No,
Isn't that the joke every year?
that is a joke. Yeah.
Oh man.
They made it to the semifinals, but they were beaten out by the Dodgers.
Fair. Um, but yeah, see, a lot of these Yankee wins in the like free civil rights era should be like null and void. I'm just saying.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. But yeah,
But
that's we're in World Series time, so hopefully we'll keep you updated. See how it
we
goes.
we at the rollback, you do fully endorse the LA Dodgers and their bid to win the World Series. Go baseball.
Go sports go. All right. Now that we've finished the jock part of the episode, do you want to jump into woman of the hour?
You want to jump into misogyny and murder? Yeah, sure.
Woman of the
Let's
hour.
fucking go.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
I'm Eddie.
Reviewing Woman of the Hour, and this is the rollback. In 1978, a serial killer appeared on live TV as a bachelor on the dating game. The only people who suspected here, the woman he pursued. The stranger than fiction story of an aspiring actor in 1970s Los Angeles and a serial killer in the midst of years-long murder spree whose lives intersect when they're cast in an episode of the dating game. So this is the directorial debut by one Miss Anna Kendrick, who also stars in the movie, co-starring Daniel Sobato, Tony Hale, Nicolette Robinson, Adam Best, and Pete Holmes, and other colorful characters. So, Woman of the Hour, I got to see this in theaters before it slid into our Netflix accounts, and it's really cool to see. It's always really cool to see, an actor that you've seen for a long time have their turn at directing. And I think I always prefer when an actor starts with like a smaller project, just to like, see what their style is going to be and see what that allows them to do. And Kendrick debuts this, which is, in my opinion, a little bit too good for what it was promised to be. I thought this was a knock out of the park, and I really enjoyed this movie. What did you think about Woman of the Hour?
I really liked it. I want to be
Yeah,
clear. I liked it. I
yeah,
like the concept. I like the idea. I like the directing. Um, I want to start by praising this movie. I will say my one issue with the film at the very end.
okay.
Um, but this movie does a great job of making you feel uncomfortable. And I'm going to put an asterisk next to what I'm about to say. I'm a man. I'm a guy. I'm identified as a guy. So there's a lot of stuff I can't relate to or can't necessarily understand. And this movie did an amazing job of making me sit in the passenger seat and go, "Holy shit, this is horrible." I remember when I was younger, I used to go to the gym at like 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Super late. And it never failed that every time I was leaving the gym, whenever I finished my workout, someone else was walking out with me. A woman was always walking out right before me or right after me or like, whatever. And she I always noticed, and it never fucking failed. Her car was like almost right next to mine, or like super close. So as I'm walking behind her, she starts to get freaked out and like looks back at me like almost scared. I'm like, what? And I walk to my car and get in and leave. When I was younger, when I'm 19 or 20 years old, I don't understand. Like, why is she scared of me? Now that I'm older, I'm thinking to myself, oh, she doesn't realize I'm not a monster. Like she like it's that never clicked. I never thought about that because that was never a risk to me. Like, yeah, I'm gonna walk out of the gym whenever the fuck I feel like it. Like I'm gonna go because that doesn't register. I go to Walmart back. Hey kids, there was a time when Walmart was open 24/7.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I would go at 3 o'clock in the morning and like, what's gonna happen to me? Nothing. It never registered that that was risky potentially for a woman. I've never clutched my keys in the parking lot because I've never felt that fear. This movie did an amazing job of showing you from the perspective of someone who has to have their guard up 24/7 and not just in a threatening fashion like in a parking lot, but fucking having dinner or trying to reject a guy that's too nice and he just lingers and he's let's be honest, pathetic. Um like man, and it opens like with a real like oh shit moment where you see Rodney taking pictures of a woman. She opens up about her failed relationship. She starts to cry, and you think he's gonna go to comfort her. We know the story. She probably thinks, oh, he's gonna go comfort me. I think he hugs her first, and then he reaches for her throat, and she pulls back. And she's like, "What?" And he goes back for her throat again, and it makes you uncomfortable because you see him going for it. It's not perfect like in the movies where it's just a one grab, boom, done, dead. No, there's a struggle, and it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, this movie really has an easiness on getting under your skin.
Yeah.
The serial killer in this movie, played by Daniel Sovato. I don't know if it's a compliment to tell someone like, "Hey, you were really creepy in that."
I think we've seen him in other things where he wasn't a creep. I'm trying to remember the other one. And It Follows, he wasn't a creep.
Yeah, he was in Lady Bird too, and he wasn't creepy in that either. But
I feel like that this just means he's good at his job, maybe.
yeah, good job. Good job, Daniel Sabato. You scare the bejesus out of me. But yeah, so half of the movie is it only shows us him and his exploits, and the other half is led by Miss Anna Kendrick, who plays a young actress in 1978 called Cheryl Bradshaw, and we see her struggling trying to get into auditions and trying to break into the world of acting, and it's being really difficult for her. So she's struggling with that, and she's having an issue with she keeps having to come back and talking to her neighbor, played by Pete Holmes, who is very much entranced with her, and she doesn't seem very interested until she ends up giving in to him, and then she gets a call in for an audition for the dating game, a thing which I can't believe was a real thing that actually came out on TV. It's pretty insane.
I, I think maybe it's just me, but I feel like Anna Kendrick actually has a bit of a kinship with the actress as far as like, hey, I'm not willing to do nude scenes. I'm not willing to do a bikini shoot or this, and this. And that's not a knock on Anna Kendrick. I'm just saying, like, you've never seen her do stuff like that. So I'm wondering if she feels a bit of a kindredness as far as like, I'm not willing to expose myself just to get parts. And again, I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, because like it's interesting because like she started in Broadway. Like she got like nominated for like a Tony when she was like 13. And then when she started making movies, she was in Twilight and she was in like these teeny movies. And then out of nowhere, she's in Up in the Air and she gets nominated for an Oscar. Like it's
She was nominated
like
for an Oscar?
yeah, she was nominated for an Oscar for Up in the Air.
Really? I did not know that. Huh.
Yeah. So, she's very much one of those actresses that like can do the drama, can do the funny, because like she's been in very funny movies, man. Like Pitch Perfect is a new gen classic. And she's been in other stuff as well that is also pretty good.
My gosh, it was
But
a Table 19. Yo, I remember
yeah,
that.
Table 19 was fun.
Oh God, everyone needs to watch Table 19. I like that one.
Yeah, and she was in 50-50 and A Simple Favor and The Accountant
Oh
and
my
and
God, 50/50. I forgot about that.
what's up?
50-50, the one where Gord cancer. Like, oh,
Yeah,
if you were a gambling machine at a casino, you'd have the best odds.
yeah,
I love that. Okay.
yeah. And I recently watched End of Watch. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, she was in End of Watch.
She was the she's dating Gyllenhaal in that one.
I don't recall her in. I just remember the really sad ending.
Yeah, not a big fan of that movie, honestly, but I am a fan
I
of
wonder
her.
why.
So what?
Gee, I wonder why.
It's a lot of reasons, lot of reasons, and like I mentioned, she's been in a lot of stuff, but it's kind of cool to see like someone's vision, and I like the press tour that she's been for this movie because she went to the Criterion Closet and she's pretty much been talking about like all her influences. So she's got a lot of spunk. I like her in the director's chair because this movie has a lot of personality and gives a lot of humanity to Cheryl, who's the actress. Like we never see the stories behind the people that go on these shows. Nowadays they get on a show and immediately start a fucking podcast. So, it's kind of cool to see like how it was before. Um, so yeah, we see Cheryl. So she's kind of nervous. She doesn't really like get it, but I like how in the show when she's there, she kind of forms a kinship with the other women in the show, like with the makeup people and the people behind the cameras and
Yeah,
everything. And you can tell that that's not shared with the host who's played by Tony Hale.
he was a
Who just,
complete douchebag. I'm just saying.
yeah, it's a complete douchebag, but like you could tell he just wants to be the center of attention. So
Yeah.
it's there. And and I like how this movie really manages to give a lot of humanity to the side characters, like even characters that are not even named. Like,
Mhm.
for example, there's this couple that goes to see the show, and the girl in their relationship kind of looks at the guy, and he's like, That's the guy who killed my friend." Like I know it. And I like how then developed with like the boyfriend not believing her, and then believing her, and how much power there is in that, and then also like the actual victims of what's his name, of Rodney, who also are very memorable, and they all take place in different places, so it's I don't know, it's really interesting to like see how it all happened. I kind of fell off on the true crime serial killer thing, so I didn't know this story. Like I had not heard of this story.
It it's famous, but it's more famous because he ended up on TV and
Yeah.
how bad the cops like shit the bed on this one. Because so I guess I can talk about it now. My only big issue with this film is the nonlinear storytelling. I understand that that can work on certain cases, but I don't feel like it worked well in this film. The reason why I feel like they should have stuck to a linear story is because imagine how infuriating you would have been for the rest of the movie if it opened with the fact that he was arrested. He only had, I think, like two or three victims, if I'm not mistaken. And then that one, really smart 12-year-old girl managed to survive. ID'd him. They arrested him. He made bail, and then he fucked off to another part of the country. Imagine if we spent an hour with this guy knowing that he was already arrested and all the monster stuff that he does after being arrested and getting out. And the cops refusing to go look for him and people saying, "Hey, this guy's dangerous." Imagine I think that would have done more for the movie. To me, at least.
I don't know, man. It's pretty satisfying when like you see him like walking out and like the car is empty and like the cops are coming in. Like it's kind of satisfying.
No, it is, but like I wish that had been at the beginning and then like you see all the fuck ups that happened to led him to murdering potentially another 130 individuals. Like they only confirmed 8 murders, but that's because in his storage room where he had all of his trophies, they found like a lot of pictures, a lot of IDs, a lot of stuff to where it's like we think there's a lot more, but we can't find the bodies. And he didn't want to give them up, not all of them at least.
Yeah.
Um, he died in prison. There was also a big thing about his execution going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Um, but yeah, I kind of wish that we had brought back the girl from the beginning of the movie, Amy, brought her back at the end, but now she's a grown woman with the kid with the family, and like I'm not scared of you anymore. Because it's true. Like the prosecutor did tell people her testimony essentially put the needle in his arm. I don't know. That was honestly my only issue because it felt a little disorienting jumping back and forth through so many timelines and so many different moments. And I
So I'll
know,
be honest, I had a bit of an issue with the with that as well. But not in that sense. It bothered me a little because I'm like the movie ends and like Cheryl doesn't make it as an actress and she like leaves Hollywood and she go and it just ends with like, oh, she formed a family and like worked in something else. And besides the climax of the movie, like the big I can't really call it an action scene, but like you know what scene I'm talking about, like the scene in the parking lot. Like that feels very much like the quote unquote action climax of the movie.
yeah,
Um, it makes it feel like another event and not like the event.
yeah.
And it kind of made Cheryl's story, I'll say it like a little bit inconsequential. Like, okay, she was one that ran away, but like she didn't know who he was. She didn't know what he did. She didn't know that he had like a history. She didn't know this was like his first time doing it. And so the thing is that the movie's called Woman of the Hour, and it has her on the poster, and it's
What did she do?
like what did she do besides encounter him once and surviving? Like, do we even know if like after he was captured, like she knew? Like, did she heard about this? Like, did she get called to testify? Like something else? Because we don't know that, and the movie doesn't really tell us. So I'm just a little I'm just a little like just not concerned, but like just like I have questions. Like, why was the movie marketed this way and presented this way? Because even though like all it tells us is like, oh, this happened in this dating show. Yeah, but that's like half of the movie. Like the other half is just seeing this guy, you
On a
know.
rampage.
Yeah.
And
So I don't know. I don't know if it's the way that they decided it's the way they decided to do it. Because like even the title is Woman of the Hour. It comes from a moment where she gets called into the stage and she's like the woman of the hour, like Cheryl. Yeah. So yeah, I thought the movie was gonna end with like her being the one that like turns him in, but she's not the one that turns him in. So
no.
I don't know. There is like a lack of there is an not an issue, but like the outlining or planning out on exactly how to present this. It's not perfect. Um,
I would agree.
but yeah, but when you're just in one scene and you're not thinking about, you know, jumping to another, those scenes are so well directed.
See, that's the thing. It feels like we have really great parts, but they weren't put together very well. If that makes sense. The
Mhm.
the order in which they do things or the storytelling. And here's the issue. I don't know if the problem was Anna Kendrick or if it was editor Andrew Caney. Like, I'm not quite sure who's the problem in this one because the 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 structure of the story, the individual scenes are great, but when you
Mhm.
put the whole structure together, it doesn't quite come off well. And here's the thing. They can't really claim, well, we've never tried this before because we have, I'm pretty sure at this point, at least 100 movies made on serial killers. And some of them are really good. If you see something like Seven or The Zodiac, or any number of other like true crime horror, films or whatever, like about murders, there is a structure to it. And the climax doesn't necessarily have to be the cops getting them. It should be, but not necessarily. But I feel like they were so hell bent on Anna Kendrick's character being the anchor, because she's the
Yeah.
most famous of all the actors, that they failed to capitalize on a lot of the surrounding stuff. Because again, Amy's story should have started off the movie and been like our first like 20 minutes. And then we have the issues with Anna Kendrick's character and the other characters being killed. And then the meeting, and then she says no, and everything breaks down. And then we have him maybe getting caught, and the police finally getting turned on to this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like an imbalance there. But as a first feature, I think a lot of this really, really works. And I want to talk about that climax. I want to talk about that scene in the
Oh, in the
parking
parking lot?
lot. Yeah, because I think that's going to be the most memorable thing that people are going to take from this. And that's when I appreciated having seen this in theaters because I had a couple that was sitting behind me,
Mm.
and the girl, I could hear her like squirming, like every time that Ronnie would show up.
Yeah.
And like if you can make a person physically recoil, you're doing a good job with your performance. It was very creepy. And there's a moment in the end. First of all, two moments that I think I'm gonna remember. So we're presented to the three bachelors, and the first one is, kind of a not a smart guy, but not a dumb guy. He's just he's innocent. He's like a hembo. He's there.
He's dental
Second
floss.
guy, second guy, straight up villain. Like just a straight up villain to the whole to the whole gender. And then we have Rodney at the end. And I like that there's a moment where like they pass them on one by one, and the second one, even though we see him, he's not a great guy. He goes up to Cheryl and goes like, "Don't trust that fucking guy. Like,
Yeah.
don't like. There's something off about him. Like, don't." And uh and then they get told like, "Oh, you won with this guy. You're gonna win a trip. Yeah, whatever." And then he tries to like follow her to the parking lot, and they try to get some drinks, and she's you can tell she's like quite uncomfortable after some time here. So they go back to the parking lot, and we have this scene where like the music gets cut. It's just these two people talking, and she asks for her phone number so they can be in touch. She gives him a phone number in what I can only recall as like the smallest notepad I've ever seen in my fucking life. It was like this size. And and then he goes like, "Can you repeat it? I just want to make sure I got it right." And you can tell like you can tell just immediately what's happening. And they're alone in the parking lot. And he gives her this like horrible smile. And he goes like, and he goes like, "I guess we're not going." And she goes like, "Yeah, I guess not." And then she starts turning. And this is something that I couldn't believe I found in a movie like this. It's a genuinely super creepy moment. Like not cartoony moment, not cartoony scary, genuinely scary.
Is it the
Which
part
is
where
where
you bash your head in?
yeah, so we're still shooting at her face. Like we're not seeing him say it. We never see him say it. We just see her reaction. And he says it like almost under his breath. It's like, "I'll fucking bash your head in." And
He says it
she
almost like
like,
a child,
yeah.
talking
And
back to
then
the mom or something.
and she like turns and goes like, "What did you say?" And he's just standing there with like a big old smile. It's because the scene that follows when like it's like a oneer where she just starts walking back to her car and he's walking away in the distance. Chills, man. Fucking chills in that scene.
I, and again, this goes back to her Anna Kendrick's strengths of the fact that she's able to direct these scenes that, again, for someone like you and me, I can't speak for you, but for me, something I've never considered. I've never thought about that. I've never thought about like being scared of walking to your car after telling someone no, right, or
Yeah,
rejecting someone. This film does a very good job of putting you in the shoes of someone that's been there and that it is fucking terrifying.
yeah,
Um, it, it and it happens multiple times throughout the movie. Even the parts where, like, for example, there's a flight attendant who asks him, "Hey, can you help me move some stuff?" Which obviously nowadays people would be like, "What the fuck?" But we're not victim blaming here.
yeah,
She invites him in, and they're just having a nice conversation. She's like, "Well, I need to, get going or whatever." And he doesn't leave, and then he jumps her and chokes her out in her own apartment that she just moved into.
yeah,
Fucking terrifying, like because she essentially is, "Hey, you can go now, like you can leave, like we had a beer, we had a talk, you helped me out, like fuck off."
yeah, yeah.
um I'm gonna say something right now that I picked it up in a movie when I was in high school, and I think it's accurate, and everyone should know about this. In the girl with the, and I say this in the video review, in the girl with the dragon tattoo, there's in the climax, the main character knows who the bad guy is. The bad guy invites him in for a drink. He drugs him and ties him up and whatever. And the bad guy he tells Daniel Craig's character, "I didn't force you in. I didn't hold you at gunpoint. It's hard to believe that the fear of offending is stronger than the fear of pain, but it is." Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, if you take any one piece of advice from this, it's this. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable or scared or second guessing in any capacity, shape, or form, and you're in public, especially in public, you scream, you yell, you stop being polite. That shit goes out the window. and you get everyone's attention because that will frighten them away. Just as a general rule of thumb, whether you're young or you're older, you're on a date, if the guy's being creepy, say out loud, "Hey, he's making me feel unsafe. Can you please like call someone to come pick me up, or can I get an Uber? Because I'm not good here." At bars, they call them angel shots.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Just like a rule of thumb, like I remember thinking that, and I remember just thinking like, I wish someone would have jumped in to help her immediately. Like even at the bar when they're drinking, she looks at the waitress and says, "No, like don't bring us another drink."
Yeah.
Like props to the waitress for helping out with that, but just like
Yeah. And that's when I mentioned, kinship. Like we start seeing that because we are parallel by this story of the other couple that are watching the show. And how they show that like the girl is very much saying like this guy did it, like I know he did it, like I know he was guilty, like he did this. And we show the boyfriend being like, if he's in a show, he's probably getting cleared, which is such a basic dumb boyfriend answer. And but then they show like, oh, like he went back, he helped her out, like she did, took her to declare at the cops, and the cops, they do what cops do, which is nothing. So I like how the movie's parallel by that story, the story with the makeup artist, the camera people. I like how there's a lot of players in this movie. There's a lot of characters in this movie. They all act really well. I don't think there's a single weak acting element to this. Um, I think my only issue is like I'm not great with the timeline jumping. But I like watching this movie. I will say this, as a movie that takes place in a 1970s show, I liked it more than Late Night with the Devil. I'll tell you that.
I know which one I'd see again. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But yeah. So we have this. One of the. How do you see Miss Kendrick? Do you see her directing in the future? Like, do you see this as a one-off? What do
No,
you
I
think?
think she'll direct again. I think she has shown some talent for directing, and I think she will only get better. That's one thing about directors. The more you do it, the better you get, the better the storytelling you're at. Um, and I wonder if and like what her next project as a director might be. Because again, this movie is it's getting rave reviews. It does have like an I think a 96 on Rotten Tomato.
Hmm.
Um, I don't no, sorry, 91 on Rotten Tomato, which well worth it. Again, I want to be very clear when when I'm criticizing this film, it's not the directing. I'm criticizing the editing and the choice to like jump around in time rather than
Yeah.
like the structure. But the scenes individually are great, and that's what Anna Kendrick did.
Yeah.
Um, so no, I do think that I think she'll direct again at some point. What? I'm not sure, but I think she will.
Yeah.
What else? No, overall, a good movie. I do recommend it. I would say it's not necessarily like a Halloween movie, but it came out during spooky season because hey, this is the time for true crime and murderers. Here you go.
Yeah.
And it's doing monster numbers on Netflix apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even that long. Also, I think it's how long is it? It's 94 minutes. Really, it's a good it's a good movie you can watch like free time, and it's available on
You can do it
streaming,
over
so why
dinner.
not? Yeah. I think this was gonna pair really well with It's What's Inside, which also came out on Netflix. But I think that's a better spooky season movie. I just think it's a good communal experience.
I still have not seen it. I
Dude,
I have not had.
dude, when you have the chance, give yourself the pleasure. It's fucking fun.
I believe you.
Uh yeah. Do you know what it's about?
No, I think there's a game. I want to say there's like
Yeah.
a game element.
You shouldn't know more than that. That's all you need to know.
That's all I've seen on Netflix. I just saw that they were all around like a board game or something. Like that's all I know. I'm assuming it's like a truth or dare or like they uncover secrets about each other. I just really hope it's not like bodies, bodies, bodies. I really hope it's not like that.
It
I
it
fu-
takes I know you didn't like Buddies, but it's in the same vibe but different.
I hope you're right. I never go into a movie wanting to hate it for folks, for the record. I don't go into a
Yeah.
movie being like, God, I can't believe this is gonna suck. I want to like it. But
Yeah.
if I don't like it, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't agree with you anymore.
On what?
I used to not go into movies wanting to hate them, but then I saw the trailer for that fucking the Dwayne Johnson a Santa Claus movie,
Yeah.
and I already hate it.
How am I more mature than you now? It used to be the other way around, where like
It's
I
because you're gonna be a dad. Like it comes with that. Yeah.
so is that what's happening? I've grown, I've become more welcoming and loving and like willing to try, and now Chema's like, no, I'm closing my mind slowly but surely.
Well, depends. Can you eat something that's not a chicken nugget?
Yeah, yes.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, if I show up in like a month
Uh,
and I make you guys like traditional Mexican breakfast, like, if I make you all like chilaquiles, like, would you eat that?
yes.
We'll see. I don't believe you.
I'm down to try. The my only reservations, okay. My only reservation with a true like Mexican dish that
It's
like
gotta be spicy.
I can't no, it's fine if it's spicy.
Uh,
My only reservation is mole. That's the only thing that I'm like, no, no,
oh, you'll learn to like mole eventually.
no, That's the one dish that my grandma made that even I was like, nah, I'm good, homie.
I used to be like that, and then I grew up.
No, that's mole is the one thing that I had to hide from my grandma and dump it in. I was like, this is delicious. I'll eat it outside and threw it in the goddamn trash can.
God damn.
Dude, I'm sorry, dude. I can't. I can't. My family was able to eat it. My Nikki likes it. My mom loves it. I can't. Mola's the one thing.
Why would you?
What, chocolate and peanut butter, if I'm not mistaken?
It's like one of 15 ingredients. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember the others. But either way, mole is the one. I'm like, fuck this. No. Uh-uh.
All right, you'll see the light
Oh,
eventually. All right,
back to the movie.
back to the movie, back to Woman of the Hour. I'm gonna score this a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Really like the sequences, really like the acting, and I really like the setting. It really made me feel like I was in that time. So yeah, very much enjoyed that. And it's on streaming. It's free to watch. Just watch it at home. Like it's if you got to see it in theaters, great. And good job, Anna Kendrick. We cannot see what she wants to direct next.
No.
But if she wants to go back to Sandy comedies too, I'll also take those because she's good in both. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Um, I'm scared. I'm scared to tell you my score.
Why?
Um, folks, for the
It's not
record,
like it's not like a 2, right?
no.
Okay.
All right, folks. If you're for the great job that Anna Kendrick does, the editing really fucks with this movie. So for me, it's a 6 out of 10. But if the editing was like a little more consistent with the linear storytelling, it probably would have been an 8.
Okay.
Like
No, I
literally,
mean,
it's just all that
yeah.
time jumping. That's like, God damn it. Even my father-in-law, who he actually watched it, and
Oh,
he
cool.
said, "Huh?
Your father-in-law who likes Top Gun, that one?
Yeah."
Okay.
So we were talking about it last night, and he said he liked it. Um, and I mentioned like my only problem is like the non like it felt weird, like they were jumping back and forth everywhere. That was the one thing that he was like, yeah, it felt a little weird, but it was kind of nice ending it with him getting arrested.
Yeah.
But
That's what you want to see at the end. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, we could see him getting arrested after like I don't know. They could have had him arrested twice in the same movie, and been like, wow, the first people really shit the bed with you, huh? Because you killed an extra 130 individuals. You piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think they were only able to prove like 7 or 8 of them. They were not
Yeah.
able to get all of them
He
stick.
rotted in jail until he died. So yeah. Happy endings for all the white girls.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was Woman of the Hour, available now on Netflix. And that was Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. Shout out to her. And yeah, so that's gonna be covered for this week. Next week, we officially have the ending of spooky season. And should we go out with what should we go out with?
Uh, do you want to release like a special episode on Halloween on the 31st? I'm down.
Like on the movie Halloween or like what do you
Uh,
mean?
any movie? No, but like we release a movie on the 31st, a podcast review.
Okay, yeah, we should record it beforehand. because I do work that day, and I do have a little bit of a plan that day.
Ooh, okay.
Tell
Uh,
me, ask me, ask me, ask me, ask me,
your
ask me,
plan.
ask me. I'm gonna see Danny Elfman perform The Nightmare Before Christmas live.
Yo, you need to record that.
Yeah,
You need to take
it's gonna
pictures.
be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna come. He's gonna be here. Like he's gonna do like a big show. It's free. Like you can just waltz in
Damn,
like
where?
outside. Like downtown.
You need to get there early. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
Probably gonna go after work
You
because it
just.
starts at like 8. Yeah,
And what time do you get out of work?
like 4.
Okay, yeah, you got time. You should get.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a park, isn't it?
It's a no. It's like a big public plaza. Like it's a so in Monterrey, there's this thing called the Macro Plaza, which is this like huge long plaza, and it's got like fountains and it's got like big areas.
Mhm.
And it's usually there to like that's where people reunite if like something good happens in Monterrey, people go there to celebrate.
Oh,
There's like a signal, yeah.
yeah.
So, but they do like shows there sometimes, and yeah, he's gonna do like a big screening with like live music, and like he's gonna be there, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
for
I'll be.
like literally the day of Halloween. It's really cool. It's really cool that they're doing that, yeah.
Right. Uh, man, record that. Okay, so what would you want to release on that day? It's your call.
Look, do you want to do Venom? I mean,
I feel like it's not a very Halloweeny movie.
let's do It's What's Inside. Let's shoot for It's What's Inside. Even though it doesn't take place on Halloween, it really I don't know, it really put me in like the Halloween spirit. If that
All
makes
right,
sense.
let's record it Tuesday. Give
Yeah,
me
let's do Tuesday.
give me a day or two
Yeah,
to watch it, and we'll record Tuesday.
sounds good.
And I will come in here either swinging a bat, saying it's worse than Bodies, 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 or I'll come in here singing its praises, saying it's what Bodies, Bodies, Bodies wishes it was.
I think you're gonna be more of the second camp, which is weird because I think a lot of what works in Bodies is not in this. But they have like a similar structure because they're
Right.
playing a game in a house, and it's like and it makes a lot of secrets come out, and that's what the difference is at, really.
Well, like the thing is like, but all the characters was just so shitty in that movie. I wanted all of them to die. Like I was like, ah, yes, yes, the body count rises. Good, good.
Yeah,
Because
give me
also they're
the
a bunch of rich
feel.
idiots. Like, oh no, I have. I'm not gonna do that.
You'll see. You'll see, and you'll tell me what you think. And we'll roll from there. I think it's a very interesting concept and very well executed. And but sadly, this movie doesn't have Rachel Sennott yelling, "Your parents are upper middle class," which is like as insults go, fantastic.
Was that an insult, or was she trying to tell her like stop pretending like you're poor? Your parents are upper middle class. Like stop.
Both.
Okay,
Yeah,
it
both.
was a punch down and an uppercut.
Yeah, because he's like, your parents are upper middle class. Like, no, they're not. It's like they teach at a university, and he's like, it's public. Like, it's
Fuck
yeah,
them, man. Oh god, it could not have happened to a nicer group of kids that all got murdered for stupid fucking reasons.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Those are see. I wish I would. Those are the kids that I get when I'm an academic advisor, and I like verbally lash them, and I'm like, "So you don't show up to class, and you're shocked that you're failing. Do you see how that doesn't make sense to you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hate it. I'm getting war flashbacks now.
Mm, be like that.
Fair,
Yeah.
but all right.
Anyway,
So that's gonna do it for a Woman of the Hour next week. We're doing a special Halloween episode where we're gonna review It's What's Inside. Um, what else? Anything else going on?
that
Um,
should be everything. What's the World Series? Root for the Dodgers. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chema,
I've been Eddie.
and this was the rollback.
Oh, signing off with a reminder: don't forget to early vote for Kamala Harris. Fuck Donald Trump. Just had to get that out there.
Yes. Good night.
All right, well,
Yeah. Did you early vote?
not yet. It's been fucking hectic. But I already requested an hour off on Monday, so I can.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Jeez.